number 30.
I wouldn't gloat too long right now, Randy. I wouldn't savor the victory yet. I'd get down to business.
Randy Orton, who came in at number 30. Rey Mysterio, who came in at number 2. One of these men is going to WrestleMania. And Mysterio is helpless.
Randy Orton just...
Rey Mysterio is helpless, King.
Yep. Randy Orton methodical here now.
And this is a damn shame that Triple H had to end Rey Mysterio's hope this way.
Well, it just shows you.
And Orton parading around with Mysterio. And Rey hanging on to the top rope.
Rey hanging on for dear life here. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Mysterio, he did it! He did it!
No way!
He did it! He did it!
No way!
Rey Mysterio did it!
Rey Mysterio!
Wow. Just like watching that was a feel-good moment. You know, you guys knew Rey and Eddie were like closest friends and everything else. And the fact that they gave Rey the 2006 Royal Rumble victory in 2006, I mean, it was needed. It was needed after that. It was really needed. But I'm going through my laptop this morning and I'm researching because there was an article, I think it was last year or the year before, that what could have happened if Eddie was still alive. And I have the article here. I finally found the article. So I'm going to read it to you before we begin this Rumble 2006 Throwback Thursday review. The first notable difference, had Eddie still been alive, would be that the 2006 Royal Rumble would have gone very differently. The main story of that event was Rey Mysterio defying all the odds and winning the Rumble match despite entering at number 2. Throughout this match and storylines of Rey, the underlying idea was that Rey was doing all of this of some sort of tribute to Eddie Guerrero. Some called it a great tribute, while others considered it a morbid exploitation of Eddie's death for additional publicity. That wasn't the case here. But in this case, a living Eddie would have meant a different Rumble winner. As good as he was, Rey Mysterio wasn't even in the world title conversation prior to Eddie's death. And since Eddie's closest living relative Chavo was even further away from that picture than Rey, WWE had no other choice than to go with the masked superstar known as Rey Mysterio. If Eddie were alive, he would have still been feuding with Batista into late 2005 and early 2006. The initial plan for that feud was for it to continue with a triple threat match between Batista, Eddie, and Randy Orton on the November 18th episode of SmackDown. Since Eddie passed away, that didn't happen. Furthermore, there were reports at the time that Batista had injured himself. I think he torn his bicep. I believe he torn his bicep prior to this planned match occurring. So this match would have been the perfect opportunity for Eddie to capture the World Heavyweight Championship for the first time. Such a decision would have made sense. Eddie was already a world champion level athlete by 2005, as he was involved in a personal rivalry with Batista. Orton, meanwhile, was still growing as a superstar and still wasn't ready to carry any brand as its top draw. Given Eddie's popularity and the rivalries going on at the time, it's highly likely Eddie would have entered the 2006 pay-per-view as SmackDown's World Heavyweight Champion. Here, he would have been defending it against either Randy Orton, who have ended his feud with the Undertaker already, or Batista if he was still healthy, or Kurt Angle, who jumped to SmackDown in the beginning of 2006 after his Raw contract had expired. Any one of these would have made sense, but with the Eddie versus Angle match being the best and most desired match possibly. Now, there's more to this story. As a result of this, the Royal Rumble match itself would have been won by someone else. The actual 2006 Rumble didn't have many likely winners at the time, but a few names come to mind. Bobby Lashley, Booker T, Rob Van Dam, Randy Orton, or Shelton Benjamin. All could have used a Royal Rumble win and could have grown as stars. Had Rey Mysterio not ridden the wave of sympathy brought about by Eddie's death, he wouldn't have been the winner of the 2006 Royal Rumble match. Now, I agree with this story. Now, I don't know. Yeah, this story it makes sense. It makes a whole lot of sense because you ask yourself in the back of your mind, what if Eddie never died? What if Eddie never passed away? He could have been World Heavyweight Champion. I still would have thought Rey would have still won the Rumble either way, because you want to see a Rey versus Eddie match for the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 22 in Chicago. That match would have been a classic. But with Eddie passing away, it changed storylines all over the company. It changed a whole lot of storylines. It changed a lot. And, you know, obviously Eddie's death was devastating to all over World Wrestling Entertainment back in 2005. Now, which makes this Royal Rumble not that predictable, but coming from a concept, it was a feel-good moment to have Rey win the Rumble. It really was. And then not only have Rey win the Rumble, have him win the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania. That I would not have mind. That I didn't mind. It was a feel-good moment. And then in 2006, they inducted Eddie into the Hall of Fame in 2006. So I didn't really mind that at all. But this is your Royal Rumble 2006 Throwback Thursday preview and preview predictions. Throwback Thursday pay-per-view review. I'm, of course, Chris. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys are enjoying this Throwback Thursday review, guys, smash the like button as you possibly can. Be also to comment down below who you thought would have won the 2006 Rumble. I mean, there was not that many notable names, but back then, if you research it on Google, there were not that many names there. And I can tell you the names here. Triple H, Rey Mysterio, Ric Flair, Big Show, Bobby Lashley, Kane, Carlito, Benoit. I mean, if you really look at the names here, there were not that many. Booker T. Who else you have here? RVD you could have had to win. Shawn Michaels again. You could have had. Technically, you could have had Michaels winning for the third time. Technically, you could have. If Eddie was still living, I would have had Shawn win. Can you imagine a match between Eddie Guerrero and Shawn Michaels for the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 22? Man, that would have been a classic. That would have been a classic. But let me guys know down below in the comment section what you guys would have thought, who won the Rumble. Also, guys, hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on bell for all notifications. Let's begin this review for your Royal Rumble 2006 Throwback Thursday pay-per-view review. Now, the Royal Rumble 2006 was the 19th annual Royal Rumble Professional Wrestling pay-per-view event. And it happened on January 29th, 2006 from the American Airlines Arena in Miami, Florida, and featured talent from both Raw and SmackDown. As has been customary since 1993, the Royal Rumble match winner received a match at that year's WrestleMania, in this instance WrestleMania 22, for his choice at either the World Heavyweight Championship or the WWE Championship. 6 matches were featured in this card, a scheduling of more than one main event. Actually, this match had 3 main events. The main feature of this event was the 30-man Royal Rumble match, which featured wrestlers from both brands, Raw and SmackDown. Rey Mysterio, the second entrant, won the match by eliminating Randy Orton, the 30th entrant. The primary match was the SmackDown's brand, was Kurt Angle versus Mark Henry for the World Heavyweight Championship, and then John Cena versus Edge for the WWE Championship in the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. Prior to the annual Royal Rumble match, several qualifying matches. Now, why doesn't the main roster now do qualifying matches? I love the qualifying matches. I loved it. I really did love it. Love the qualifying matches there. There were qualifying matches for the people to enter the Royal Rumble. The first 3 qualifying matches were held on January 9, 2006 edition of Raw. Chavo Guerrero defeated Rob Conway, Shelton Benjamin defeated Rob Venus, and Kane defeated Snitsky, meaning they had earned a place in the Rumble match itself. The Battle Royal also took place on the January 16, 2006 edition of Heat. You guys remember Heat? In addition to a singles match between Trevor Murdoch and Antonio Thomas, which Murdoch won. Storylines coming into this pay-per-view. The main feud heading into the Rumble was on Raw between Edge and John Cena. You guys remember how Edge cashed in Money in the Bank on John Cena at New Year's Revolution after Cena winning an Elimination Chamber involving 5 other superstars. Immediately after the match, however, Vince came out and stated that Edge was cashing in his Money in the Bank contract and he won at WrestleMania 21. Edge then came out with Lita, 2 spears later, pinned John Cena to become WWE Champion. Then the next night, Edge held a live sex celebration, which got smashed up by Cena, and Cena delivered an FU on Lita and sent the message to Edge. That live sex celebration was the highest viewing segment in the last 10 years at that time. I loved Edge's reign, but as you guys saw the pay-per-view, Edge became a transitional champion. The other main feud heading into the Royal Rumble was on SmackDown's brand between Kurt Angle and Mark Henry over the World Heavyweight Championship. The World Heavyweight Championship was originally held by Batista. He defended the title against Henry at a SmackDown Live event in a steel cage match. Henry was disqualified in the match and Batista retained the title, but his triceps, was injured. He torn his tricep. As a result, he was forced to vacate the title on the January 13th episode of SmackDown. Later on that same night, a 20-man battle royal was arranged to determine the new World Heavyweight Champion. Raw superstar Kurt Angle won the battle royal, last in eliminating Mark Henry and winning the vacated title, thus also starting a rivalry between the two. This also made Angle leave Raw to move to SmackDown. Now, Angle's Raw contract had expired after New Year's Revolution. Kurt Angle's contract for Raw expired, thus moving to SmackDown. The next week, Henry defeated Mysterio to become the #1 contender for Angle's title, which ended up feuding, having a matchup at the Royal Rumble. Kicking off the Royal Rumble, Finlay defeated Brian Kendrick in a match that aired on Sunday Night Heat. The opening match was a 6-way Cruiserweight open match for the WWE Cruiserweight Championship, which was held by Kid Cash at the time. Kid Cash, I think that was, David Tyler Cash. Funaki, Jamie Noble, Nunzio, Paul London, and Raw superstar Gregory Helms joined the match to challenge Cash for the Cruiserweight Championship. A memorable spot from this match was Paul London executing a shooting star press onto all the challengers. Gregory Helms, which back then who was known as the Hurricane, executed a flying neckbreaker on London. Kid Cash nailed London with a dead level. He covered London, but Nunzio and Funaki broke up the count. Noble held Funaki in the Dragon Sleeper. Helms attended a Shining Wizard on Noble, but he avoided the move. Helms threw Noble out of the ring and then pinned Funaki after Shining Wizard for the win and the Cruiserweight title. Matchup was good for what it was. I love Gregory Helms. I love Gregory Helms. Love them. Absolutely love them. But this match was great for what it was. Gregory Helms wins the Cruiserweight Championship to kick off the Royal Rumble. Second match was a Divas match between Mickie James and Ashley. You guys remember Ashley? Ashley, Ashley, the woman that was on the cover of Playboy? Her. Trish Stratus was the special guest referee for this match. Before the match started, Mickie told Trish backstage that she loved her. Remember that storyline between Mickie James and Trish? I love that storyline. While the match started, Ashley worked over Mickey's arm. While Ashley pounded Mickie into the corner, Trish pulled Mickie. Mickie would later work out on Ashley's back and neck. Ashley made a comeback in the match, but finally Mickie powerbombed her for the win. And the match was, I wasn't really interested in that matchup. I wasn't really interested. But Mickie James gets a victory over Ashley. In the third match, the Boogeyman faced JBL with Jillian Hall at ringside. You guys remember Jillian Hall had that shit in her fucking face? Disgusting. Disgusting. In the match, JBL tried to do everything to measure out Boogeyman. Finally, JBL had Boogeyman measured and went for a closer from hell, but he missed the move and was sent crashing shoulder first into the post. Boogeyman nailed JBL with a pump handle slam to win the match. After the match, he tried to throw worms in JBL's mouth, but JBL threw his valet Jillian into the ring and Boogeyman threw worms into her mouth. Disgusting. I hated the Boogeyman. Hated him. I never liked the Boogeyman. Never liked the Boogeyman. Now, this is the part of the show where I'm thinking, okay, we're 3 matches in. The 4th match is about to start. There were 6 matches in this card. I was figuring out that Edge versus Cena would be next. then the World Heavyweight Championship, and then the Royal Rumble. That wasn't the case. For the first time I believe since 1998, coming into this pay-per-view, the Royal Rumble match had not main evented the Royal Rumble pay-per-view since 1998. Now, if you guys remember back in 1998, the casket match between Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker was the main event of that Rumble pay-per-view in 1998 in San Jose. This pay-per-view, I didn't mind the fact that the Rumble match was fourth. It didn't main event it, which I didn't mind, because the simple fact that this Rumble match this Rumble pay-per-view, this Rumble matchup wasn't really that star-studded. Yeah, sure, you had Triple H, you had Mysterio, you had Ric Flair, you had, at the time, Kane, RVD, Shawn Michaels, Randy Orton. Yeah, a lot of superstars. Wasn't that really star-studded in this Rumble match? So I can see why this matchup went fourth on the card. The fourth match was the 2006 Royal Rumble match. Now, we're going to go over the entire entrance. Triple H entered at number 1. Mysterio entered at number 2. Simon Dean entered at number 3. Psychosis number 4. Ric Flair number 5. Big Show entered at number 6. Jonathan Coachman entered at number 7. Bobby Lashley was 8. Kane number 9. Sylvain entered at number 10. Carlito entered at number 11. Chris Benoit entered at 12. Booker T entered at lucky 13. Joey Mercury entered at 14. Tatanka entered at number 15. Johnny Nitro entered at 16. Trevor Murdoch 17. Eugene 18. Road Warrior Animal entered at 19. RVD 20. Orlando Jordan 21. Chavo Guerrero 22. Matt Hardy 23. Super Crazy 24. Shawn Michaels entered at 25. Chris Masters, the Masterpiece, ended at 26. Viscera ended at lucky 27. Shelton Benjamin 28. Goldust 29. And Randy Orton came in at number 30. Rey Mysterio broke the longevity record for lasting 1 hour, 2 minutes, and 12 seconds, previously held by Chris Benoit, lasting 1 hour, 1 minute, and 30 seconds in the 2004 Rumble. And also, guys, Shane McMahon was not a participant in the Royal Rumble match because he was the one that eliminated Shawn Michaels because of the McMahon-Michaels feud that was going on. Triple H, Mysterio, and Orton were the final 3 participants. Triple H and Orton teamed to eliminate Mysterio but failed to do so. Instead, Mysterio performed 619 on both men and then eliminated Triple H from the matchup. As retaliation, Triple H assaulted Mysterio and threw him into the ring steps before rolling him back into the ring for Orton to eliminate. Orton tried to eliminate Mysterio, but Mysterio countered and was able to eliminate Orton to win the 2006 Royal Rumble match. Mysterio paid tribute to Guerrero by winning the match, saying that he had won the match for Guerrero. Mysterio broke the record for lasting the longest in a Royal Rumble match, which was 62 minutes and 12 seconds. The previous record was 1 hour, 1 minute, and 30 seconds, set by Benoit. Finally, Mysterio was the second person to win the Rumble by entering number 2, the first being Vince McMahon back in 1999. Also, Rey Mysterio's entrance, he was riding on Eddie Guerrero's, one of Guerrero's lowriders. And Triple H, there was a vision that Triple H, that they were showing. Triple H was smiling. He smiled from ear to ear. And I thought it was a really good touch. Mysterio wins the 2006 Royal Rumble, headlining WrestleMania 22 in Chicago. The 5th match was Edge versus Cena for the coveted WWE Championship, with Edge defending the title in the New Year's Revolution rematch that happened back in January, in the beginning of January. Cena entered the ring on a large steel catwalk-like scaffold that had been lowered from the ceiling. Before Cena's entrance, fireworks started throughout the arena. Cena had the match in control in the beginning, but later on was forced to retreat to the floor on multiple occasions. Finally, Cena had enough to followed him, but Edge used Lita as a decoy. Edge speared Cena onto the ring steps and followed with a baseball slide which threw Cena into the crowd. Edge remained in control and set Cena on the top rope, but was pushed down. Cena went for the top rope splash, but Edge moved away. Cena would make a comeback and try to FU, but failed. excuse me. Cena made a comeback during the conclusion of the match. She went for a 5-knuckle shuffle, but was distracted by Lita, where she jumped on the apron to draw Cena's attention. Edge recovered as Cena and Lita argued, but then Edge charged. Cena sidestepped, and Edge ran into Lita, knocking Lita off the apron. Cena took advantage of the situation and quickly executed an FU on the Edge and put him in the STFU. Edge couldn't escape, but he submitted, making Cena the new WWE champion. Edge at that time was a transitional champion. Now this was the beginning of Edge's world titles. I think Edge was like what, an 11-time world champion? I believe so. This was the beginning of Edge's rise towards the main event scene in WWE. Finally, guys, main event: Kurt Angle versus Mark Henry for the World Heavyweight Championship. Angle defended the title in this match against Henry. The match marked the first time that the two former Olympians battled for a world title in history. Great fact. I didn't know that till now. Great fact, though. Angle began the match and trying to put Henry down, but instead Henry dumped him to the floor, where Angle was beaten down by former manager Daivari. Now, Daivari was Angle's manager when he was feuding with John Cena on Monday Night Raw for the WWE title. Henry controlled Angle using his power, but Angle managed to apply the ankle lock. After Henry kicked out of the Angle slam, Angle locked in the ankle lock once more. Daivari distracted the referee, and when Henry broke the hold again, he sent Angle crashing into the referee. At that point, Kurt had a chair. Daivari tried to stop him, but Angle hit Daivari with the chair instead. When Angle tried to use the chair, Henry blocked the attempt by tossed Angle to the mat. As Henry advanced, though, Angle low-blowed Henry, which was followed up by two steel chair shots to the head. Angle went for a pin, but Henry kicked out. Angle untied one of the turnbuckle pads in the middle rope. Angle ended up in that corner, but Henry charged. Angle sidestepped and tripped him into the exposed steel ring. The ring that was holding on to the ropes. Angle rolled up, pin to retain the heavyweight title, but as Angle celebrated, there was a darkness and the Undertaker's music played. Undertaker made his return to WWE television for the first time since Armageddon when he had his Hell in a Cell match against Randy Orton. Undertaker entered the arena on a horse-drawn carryall. He intimidated Angle, and then the ropes went down and the ring collapsed. That's when Taz said, "Holy shit, what the hell is going on?" So Taker, after Angle's victory over Mark Henry, Taker made claim that he was going after the World Heavyweight Championship after he had, before the ring collapsed, Taker did this, the entire, I think it was the top part of the arena, had pyro, and then when Taker did this, thunder went down to the freaking, to the ring post, putting the ring to collapse, and then Taker did this, going after the World Heavyweight Championship. Taker made claim that he was going after the World Heavyweight Championship. The aftermath. After the Royal Rumble, Chris Benoit and Booker T continued their feud over the U.S. title. Benoit went on to win the title from Booker T on the way out. Mysterio was awarded a match against Kurt Angle for the World Heavyweight Championship, which was scheduled to take place at WrestleMania. But before that, Mysterio defended his spot against Randy Orton at No Way Out. Orton won the match in heel-like tactic and took Rey's title shot. Mysterio would later be re-added to the match, forming a triple threat match between Angle, Mysterio, and Orton. At No Way Out, Angle successfully defended the World Heavyweight Championship against The Undertaker in a classic match, but lost the title to Mysterio at WrestleMania. In February, the Road to WrestleMania tournament was arranged to determine the new number one contender to Cena's WWE Championship. This was an 8-man tournament on Raw. Triple H, RVD, and Big Show faced each other. In the final round of the tournament, which was a triple threat match, RVD performed a 5-star frog splash on Big Show, but when he made the pin, Triple H pulled the referee. While the referee was distracted, Big Show was able to kick out. Triple H took advantage and performed the pedigree on RVD to win the tournament and become the number one contender to the WWE Championship. At WrestleMania 22, Cena defeated Triple H to retain the title via submission and forcing Triple H to submit to the STFU. In that main event at WrestleMania. Whew! Wow. What a review, man. What a review. This Rumble pay-per-view was one of the most underrated events of all time. Even though it wasn't star-studded, but the Rumble match was good for what it was. It was really good. Cena versus Edge was a quick match. It was a very quick match. Cena won the title. Mysterio won the Rumble. Orton was eliminated by Mysterio to win the matchup. Angle versus Henry. The matchup was okay. It wasn't that good. It was alright for what it was. I mean, at that time, Henry wasn't a really big threat to any championship until 2011 when Henry finally won the big one. After Henry being in the company for over 20 years, it was only a matter of time before Mark was going to win the world title, finally. And then Taker and Angle had their feud. They had their match at No Way Out, which I recommend you guys to watch. The match was really good. Fantastic match between Angle and Taker. But that is it, guys, for your Royal Rumble 2006 review. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys enjoyed this Throwback Thursday pay-per-view review, smash that like button as hard as you possibly can. Be sure to comment down below what you guys thought of the event. Hit that subscribe button down below. If you're new, hit that subscribe button. Turn that bell for all notifications. And I will see you guys tomorrow for NXT TakeOver Phoenix and Royal Rumble preview and prediction. Until then, I am Chris. Hit that subscribe button down below. Hit that like button. Comment down below. Like, comment, and subscribe. I will see you guys tomorrow for preview and predictions for NXT TakeOver Phoenix and the Royal Rumble. Talk to you guys later.